Okay, so I got a message from Suzanne's Diane Calderon, who said that I hadn't paid the deposit for the reading in June, and she was holding the date, and she wanted to make sure that I was going to take that date. And I said, I gave you my Visa number. And then I went back and reread the email, and she wants PayPal or Venmo. And it's just adding another layer of complication to Venmo, or, I'd have to open an account with a fake name and everything. So I'm like, what? So I said, you don't take Visa? Are you sure? And I'm thinking I might have to pay a little bit more to get a Visa for her to be able to put it on my Visa card, because that's the easiest way to do it for me is Visa. And she just said, if you call me, I can do it, but I have to do it over the phone. So I'm going to call her up right now, Diane Calderon, and give her the Visa card number. It doesn't matter if anybody listens to this or not. The Visa card is going to be empty by the time this video gets anywhere. So it doesn't matter if you hear it or not. And I have to come up with 2 more. And I think I've got that figured out how to do it. Somebody told me about privacy.com. So don't mind my complicated voice. I'm going to try to keep this as simple as possible. Got to go to my burner phone and dial this number 1480-323-6797. This is Diane, and I am Joanne.
Hello.
Hi, Diane. This is Joanne.
Hi, Joanne. Thank you for calling me. Yeah, we'll get this done. Because this is a special online group, it's a little different process than when we have a normal online small group reading. So what I would need is, like I had mentioned in the email, a deposit of $400 to hold the date open, and then I think we have the balance due $1,000 no later than May 12th. Now, I know you had sent me your Visa card number in an email. I really hesitate to do that over email. I need to talk to somebody to get their authorization.
Sure.
When we're all up on the, up and up or clear and clear or whatever the words are. They were being as honest as they can.
Okay.
So, I guess we're going to go ahead with this. I would, go ahead and put you in and take the deposit of $400. I am holding that spot open. I'll send you an email from myself saying that, we've got everything all clear. And I will need you to then collect for me the names, emails, and times of the other people that are going to be participating, the time zones that they live in.
Mm-hmm.
So if you could do that by the time our deposit's submitted, then we'll have all of that information. I haven't talked to Suzanne yet to see how exactly she wanted me to set this up, since it is a special situation. So once I figure it out from her, then we'll send you the information on how everybody gets to log. How's that sound so far?
Well, that sounds fine. I'm just checking to see, my family's quite large, so I'm trying to make sure that they get time off from work. And I know you said we could change minds if they decided to not make it within 48 hours if they couldn't make the call. So I've just been holding off on who's going to actually go besides myself. So what would be the last date that I could get you those names and phone numbers and emails for my siblings? What would be the last day so I could force them to make a decision who's going?
Okay, well, I guess, first of all, since, the last day for the payment for the whole thing, to hold this spot, would be May 12th.
Well, that won't be a problem. I'll take care of that, no problem.
So no problem. Okay, and so it's limited to 6 attendees only. So
right.
We can't have a couple of them open their computer and they got 2 or 3 people sitting around them. It's just like one person, one spot.
Yeah, so no problem. Everybody's pretty much alone. So
basically, when we get it set up, it helps to know ahead of time who's going to be there. If I know, probably, let's see, this is for June 12th. Remember what day of the week that is?
It's a Wednesday.
June 12th. Actually, it's a Thursday.
Oh,
so
Thursday.
Thursday, June 12th. I've got it at 1 o'clock.
Oh, yes,
Pacific
1 o'clock.
time.
Yes, 1 o'clock on a Thursday. You're right.
Oh, then, go ahead the right time here. You set that up already. All right. Okay, yeah. Oh, that'll make it easier. Okay. So, wow. All right. So I'll get the deposit. I'll get you in there, your name and information. So here's what I would say is you give me whatever you can as soon as you can, and I'll put their names in. So once I have 6 names on there, if one of those 6 or more cannot make it and you want to do a substitution, just try to let me know by 2 days before the 10th of June who we're substituting. So if, say, somebody's name is Mary and Mary can't make it, but instead you want Tom, just give me the information, and all I do is then switch it out and cancel Mary, and I'll put Tom's name in there. It just helps to know a couple of days ahead of time. Because if it's last minute and for some reason I'm not available to make the change, I'm the only one doing the changes.
Oh.
You know what I mean? So don't want to throw Suzanne off, to still have a list of first names, and she'll go, wait, isn't, Mary supposed to be here? And who's this Tom? So it's better if he has the name in front of her when we're doing this.
Well, I'll get them to you
Yes,
as soon as I can get them to finally settle down and decide who's got the day off and who could be there. As I said, one of my sisters is having a procedure done. So we're just waiting a little bit to make sure she's good and healthy since this is far off into June. So I've been kind of stalling a little bit, and I apologize because we're excited about this, and it's a big deal, and we're hoping we're going to get some great messages. I'm sure we will, because we've been watching Suzanne's work for some time. So I think it's going to be no problem. So we're very excited, but I'm happy to give you the deposit now, and I can easily, no problem, give you the full balance on time. It's just, like I said, I want to see how my sister pulls through on this procedure. If it's going to be okay for her to be able to sit for a couple hours to be getting a reading, and where she'll be, if she'll be in recovery or if she'll be at home, and we just been waiting on that. And I didn't want to change on you too much if people started back and forth,
Back
so,
and out.
yeah, or I didn't want to change.
It's a good idea that if they're going to be there, that they have a devoted private spot where they're making the connection. If they have to do it on a phone and they're sitting in a car, they'll be driving.
Oh,
yeah. If you're driving and Suzanne's trying to
no,
with you,
no,
at once.
Right. No.
So you do need a little bit of a devoted moment of time there.
Right.
And the program runs for about 2 hours.
Yeah.
And everybody get a little something. And since you're all family, you'll probably get quite a bit.
Right. Oh, yeah. We're real excited about it. No, everybody will be at some place by themselves and it'll be quiet. And I'm just making sure, because I had, like I said, the one sister is having that procedure. And then I have people who are my siblings, and they're trying to make sure, because there's more than 6 of us. So we want to make sure that everybody, so those people who can't be there are on there. And so we want to make sure. I just didn't want to change anything at the end. So I've been just waiting to make sure. And like I said, I wanted to see how my sister was doing. And she's really important to be on this call. So let me give you my Visa number. I appreciate that. I mean, it's a MasterCard. I'm sorry. I thought I'd given it to you, and I would have been on you like white on rice if I had thought I hadn't had secured this date yet, because we've all been planning for it. So we were.
Yeah.
So yeah, let me give you that MasterCard number.
Let me ask you first, what's the first name on the card? How do you spell it?
Oh, it's a like a gift card because we have it was a gift. So my sister's
You have a gift MasterCard.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
I don't have a name.
No, no. It just is valued card holder. So it should be no
Oh.
problem. So that's fine.
All right, what's the card number?
It's
Let's see
52.
what happens here.
Okay, did you hear me? 5253
5253
6214 0277 5924.
Okay, I've got 5253 6214 0277 5924.
Correct.
Is it an expiration date on the card?
Sure, it's March and the year is 34.
34. My goodness. And is there a security code?
Yes, ma'am. 203.
Okay. 203. And you said there's no name on the card. I've never processed one of these before. So let's see.
Oh, we do people. Yeah, I've done this. Gift cards from Christmas and birthdays and things like that. Nobody sends cash or checks anymore. We all use credit cards and visas and gift cards and things like that. Yeah, it's common.
Well, okay. I don't get any gifts, so.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You know, I just did a phone call, but it's okay.
But you work with Suzanne.
Okay, what's phone number, Joanne?
Oh, it's the number I'm calling you on, 702-221-9197. That's my cell phone.
Yeah. That's the number. And then your email address is Joanne Bananadanda
Yeah,
at gmail.com.
gmail.com. Joanne Banana Dana.
All right. Let me put that in there. Okay. So first. All right. I am going to submit this. This is for $400. Let's see what happens. Oh, well, it went right through. Okay.
Yes,
confirmation. Make sure to email you the receipt.
I appreciate it.
Okay. So we are sending the receipt. And it has been sent. Okay. So we've got the down payment. And what I'm going to do now is I'll go into my scheduler and I'll put your name in and your information. And you'll get a confirmation email. So you'll have that in your records. And then you go ahead and collect all these other names. And I'll get back in touch with you. Probably, let me see. I don't know when you would like to make the final payment, but I would need to collect that. I said by May 12th.
Right. I wrote it down my calendar, so that shall be a problem. As I said, you reach out to me if there's any problem. We're looking forward to this a lot. I thought Suzanne did private groups more often where I've had friends that have had other mediums that they've done private sessions with that everybody was in the family. So I thought this was common. I didn't realize it wasn't common with Suzanne.
No, some mediums really enjoy doing that. Set up, they just are set up this way. Suzanne had done more private groups years ago, but as she's, really been out there in the world and her reputation has grown over time, she had to start limiting the small groups to something not so private. She would open them up with a process for people who couldn't afford a one-on-one reading to at least get something at a more reasonable rate. And COVID knocked everything out. She would do more in-person private things before COVID. And then after that, it's like everything's on Zoom. So we're at a point where she rarely does a private group. She has one set of people that they'll reach out about once every couple of years and ask for special session, but it's kind of a special little group. I can't think of anyone else in the last 3 or 4 years that have asked for a private group, and she said yes. So you are very blessed.
Oh, yes, it is meant to be, I guess, because I am beyond the moon. That's wonderful. I really didn't think that it was uncommon. As I said, I've had friends that go to mediums and they have had private sessions, private groups, because it's all our own information, and we want to be there with our family, and it's a big deal. Have you worked for Suzanne long? You remember this, Diane?
Yeah, I worked for 8 years with her. So
Oh,
quite a while now.
And you're not a medium yourself.
I have learned to do mediumship. I have done a little bit. I don't have a website. I'm not pushing myself professionally at this time because working with Suzanne keeps me pretty busy.
Oh, yeah, bet.
But she's always telling me, you need to get out there. You need to start setting up. I'm like, yeah, I haven't gotten to it. But
wow. So you've learned from her. That's wonderful. Taking her classes and her I've been looking into that, but I just haven't had the time. I guess I'm the same, but maybe after this session we'll be more involved in that world of maybe learning ourselves, taking some of the I see she has a workshop, a quite extensive one coming up. That looks fascinating.
Yeah.
I guess that's filling up too.
Love. Well, she loves teaching. So last year she started doing one class called Extrasensory People, and teaches to about 15 students at any one time, and it's 15 sessions. So we meet 3 times a month, or a night, a couple hours a night for 5 months, and teach a lot about intuitive skills and psychic abilities and mediumship and all the different ways one can tune up their own abilities and maybe hear from spirit. And then the next class she's doing in June is called Intuitive Mediumship, and that's a little more intensive, and it runs for about 7 sessions. But I think the ESP one is kind of fun, as a beginner. And then she also, every couple of months, she does what's called Satsang, which is a little bit of a class. In the Satsang, she'll spend about an hour teaching something. And then the next hour, she answers questions from people who are attending. And so you're asking questions of spirit guides usually. It's like, well, is my son going to, he's thinking about moving into a new career and blah, blah, blah. What do you think? And then she can connect with a spirit guide and get an answer. All kinds of questions, but it's a lot of fun. And, it's reasonably priced to just sit and listen to her teach for an hour and then see what spirits have to say.
Right.
And if you don't get an answer to a question, you can see what other people are getting. It's fun.
Wow.
Anyway, she does that too. She just loves,
teaching.
She really does. She does good on one-on-ones, but she loves the group.
We really need somebody like that. Do these fill up quite quickly? Does she? Mm-hmm. I'm just curious if it's something I could join kind of at later, at closer to the date, or is it something that is full up right off the day she announces it?
The one that I'm talking about, the Satsang one, this, you can usually sign up just 2 days before the next session. I think our next one is May 14th. And, she holds that open for about 50 people to attend. The classes are a little more intense. Once she announces a class, they do tend to fill up, but, it's kind of hit and miss. Sometimes they'll fill up real quick, and sometimes, we're getting closer to the date it starts, and we're still, a couple of students short, and then suddenly they show up. But, so it's kind of hard to say. But the Satsang one, you give that one a try and see what you think. You might have a lot of fun with that. And then if you feel like delving deeper, there'll be plenty of opportunities moving forward.
Well, that's very interesting. Thank you so much, Diane. I appreciate it.
You're
So
welcome.
I guess we'll be okay since my card went through, and I will talk to my family and see what I can get them to move their selves closer to making a decision. I think one of them is saying that she has a project at work that is she's trying to reschedule so she can be here. And I think that's part of the problem. She's waiting to hear from her boss who's on vacation. And so it's always dependent upon somebody else. But I will be for sure in touch with you as soon as I know something firm. But as long as the date's held, that's all I care about at this moment. It's June is a long time away from now. Oh,
Yeah, it is. A couple months to go.
it sure has.
Build up the energy and the fun and the excitement, and then see what happens. It'll be great.
Yes, I'm looking forward to it. All right. Thank you, Diane. You reach out to me if there's anything I need to know.
Okay, I certainly will. Thank you so much, Joanne.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Okay. The reason why I'm taking so long and getting these names to her, even though I know who's going to be attending the event, is I have to create phone numbers and emails for all these people and names. And I don't want to have, I want to give as far away time for Suzanne to be able to search for anybody there and to get suspicious. So I want to keep it scrambling a little bit. And so I also have to get, like I said, I have to get a phone number for everybody. I'm starting to talk in that accent again. I have a burner phone that I'm using. It's a plan, and that's $15 a month for the phone number that I'm using. And I just don't want to do that. But I did meet somebody who told me that there is a place you can get a bunch of phone numbers, and I think it's one price and a whole bunch of phone numbers, and I can call from all of those different things. But I don't need to contact her. She just wants the phone numbers. I just got to be sure what person's living in what place with what phone number, and I want to get them email and stuff like that. It'll all just come back to my email here is Joanne Banana Dana is. So we'll see. It should be fine. I mean, why did they need our email so badly? And why do they need to know what time zone we're in? And why do they need to know the first names? There shouldn't be any reason why Suzanne shouldn't be able to see us in front of her. She says she has to see the person. So there should be no reason why she shouldn't see the person on screen and be able to do her thing, because that's what she does in our gallery readings. So this seems like an awful lot of information. Oh, they're calling me again.
Call or two to decline. Press 1 to start the call or 2 to decline. Press 1 to start. The call will start at the beep.
Hello?
Hi, Joanne. Diane again. I just wanted to make a note, and I'm going to have to verify this with Suzanne, because when I first spoke to you and contacted Suzanne, we had this set for June 12th at 1 p.m., which would have been 1 p.m. Pacific. But now I pull it up on our scheduler and she put it in as 3 p.m. So I want to verify with her if it's going to be 3 p.m. or 1 p.m.
Oh,
So I thought I should let you know that it might be a slight change before your people commit.
Right.
So
I'm in Las Vegas.
Maybe just let you know we're looking at June 12th. And it's either 1 p.m. or 3 p.m. And when I get a confirmation from Suzanne, will that be okay if it's 3 p.m. with you?
Yes, that will make it work. I'm in Las Vegas, and I believe Suzanne's in Arizona. So it's not that big of a problem. If I had been living in Europe or something, or Australia, we would be much more difficult. But once I believe they're going to commit to that day, and that time will be the time. And so it's not 1 o'clock or 3 o'clock isn't going to be a problem as long as we know ahead of time. If you want to shoot me an email when you find out, that's fine.
Yeah.
Thank you for calling.
on her schedule. I'm just trying to decide where she's right now, so I won't really be able to talk to her until next week.
Oh, that's
If I
fine.
hear from her exactly, then we'll set that time. I'm gonna go ahead and put you in, and you get a confirmation, but, we can change that if we need to. Yeah, I guess.
I appreciate it. That would be quite confusing if we were on different time zones on that day and we missed our call.
Absolutely.
I don't know. We need to live on a flat earth or something. So every time zone's the same.
You know, I'm not the psychic one in this pair here.
Oh, Diane, I'm sure with some practice.
Okay.
All right. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Bye-bye. I'm totally closed. Yeah, okay, I'm closed. So as you can see, what I've been finding in this world of mediumship is it does seem to be a huge glob of people who are learning mediumship, women who are learning mediumship from other mediums, and it becomes a like pressure to it's something you can learn. Everybody's a medium as long as you take the classes and workshops and things like that. So that seems to be what's going on. So I'm glad I got Diane to admit that she's also a medium. And I mean, if you could talk to the dead, what are you doing working as an office manager out of your home? Come on now. Come on now. I also was trying to get some information out of her about how busy Suzanne is, and it doesn't sound like Suzanne is doing that well as far as the business. Again, if you can talk to the dead, this would be a big deal. And for her not to be able to book up her sessions that quickly or that easily. And private sessions, this is a rare thing. This is interesting. So all that information is fascinating to know. And of course, if you're listening to this, this thing is already over and we're done. And this is all interesting. So thank you for being with me. Yeah, I've got to get those phone numbers and things like that done, but I've got other things on my plate and I'm not that interested in doing that right now. When June is years from now, as far in the Susan Gerbic world. And as long as that date is scheduled and I already know who's going to be on the calls, I'm not concerned at all. And the bait is left on the Facebook page, and I'm just going to leave it like that. I don't need Suzanne to be going and trying to dwell on this a little bit more. Every word that Diane says is making it sound more and more like this woman ain't psychic, and she needs all these crutches to find information, and not at all that she has this. Now I'm a little worried because I've come up with an accent, but I wasn't planning on being on this call. So should I be on this call? What if I'd have to make sure I don't look like me? Anyway, great. Thank you guys. Hello?